Today, I have to put a fuel filter in my John Deere 322, and fortunately, the great people over at WORKPRO sent me out this hose clamp pliers to try out and do a review on. So let's see how it works. This is a pliers that is specifically designed just for hose clamps. It has some really great features that help make it really easy to work on hose clamps and get them taken off. A lot of times if you're using a needle nose pliers, they're going to want to slip off and just kind of be harder to use. So this is designed in a way that it's going to prevent the hose clamp from moving around at all and make the whole process really easy. There's a few features of this WORKPRO pliers that sets it apart from some of the others. It's got this really nice strong carbonate steel, and then also the tips on here are able to rotate 360 degrees. So you can get into all sorts of different angles, and you'll be able to move this pliers around once the hose clamp is in there, so you won't be restrained by these being solidly mounted. This hose clamp opens up to 2 inches, which will allow you to work on some really big hose clamps, but also it's delicate enough to get to some really small hose clamps and still be working just fine. So you get a wide range of use with this pliers. But I can just stand here and tell you all about it, but that doesn't really prove anything, so let's put it to work. Before we get started with the fuel filter, I just wanted to show you how exactly these pliers work. I have this bigger hose clamp here so you can see a little bit better. So the hose clamp will just sit inside of there, and then it'll sit in that cup there, and then you can ratchet it down to how far you need it. So you can see here with how it ratchets, it holds the hose clamp open like that for how long you would need it. You can adjust it and move it around how you need without having to hold tight to this pliers. And then when you want to go to release it, it's just this nice easy thumb trigger there, and then it just opens right up. Uses the spring action of the hose clamp itself to open it up so you don't have to do that manually. And then the hose clamp will come off. So I think that works really nice. It holds onto the hose clamp really well. One feature that I really like about these is actually the handles. A lot of times with cheaper tools, you'll just get a handle that slides on there. And then while you're using the tool, that can slide around or rotate. These are actually molded really nicely to the handle, so they're not going to slide off or slide around. It'll give you a really secure grip on this when you need it. So far I'm pretty impressed with how this tool is working, but let's use it in a real world scenario and see how it holds up. Here's the fuel filter for the 322. It's got this clamp right here that we got to loosen up. There we go. Now we can take this pliers, put it on the hose clamp here. There you go. Ratchets on there, no problem. Just use your thumb trigger here to release it. Nice and out of the way. And hopefully I won't make a huge mess here. Oh, this fuel line's getting a little bit brittle. Probably gonna have to replace that soon too. There we go. Just a little bit of fuel spilt there, nothing too bad. All right, now here's gonna be a real test for this. This clamp here has got a lot of wires and stuff in the way. So let's see if this can actually fit into here and be useful. All right. Just need to try and get a little more room here. There, looks like that'll be off of there enough. maybe not. There we go. Now I got that off of there. I just got a universal fuel filter for this, so I'm actually just gonna go ahead and bolt this clamp back in place because it's not really gonna hold it that much anyway. And actually, before I put that on, I'm gonna show you something with this hose clamp on this. If I can get the hose up enough to get to it. The clamp on the low side of the fuel line had this different style of hose clamp. It doesn't have the full hoop on this end of the hose clamp here, but it actually works just as well because you can put the single side of the clamp right into this kind of like V section here, and the double side into the like cup kind of section here, and it'll still hold it really nice. It's not going to come out of there at all. And then, like I was saying, you know, they rotate, so you can get, you know, you'll be able to move the pliers around without it coming out too. So it's actually holds that really nicely. So as long as it's one of these spring style hose clamps, it doesn't matter what style the tangs are on it, it's still going to hold it. I was thinking while I was putting this clamp back on the hose, I should try another style of pliers just to see how well it works. See, you can't even get both of them to compress on this. Yeah, it slipped off, but you could probably do this job with a normal set of pliers, but yeah, I mean, this, like, that actually does work really nice because this pliers just slips off and it has trouble getting both of the tangs on that one side to be gripped at the same time. Yeah, I think I like this. I like the hose clamp pliers a lot better. Oh, no, I have it twisted in there though. Let's see if I can bring it back. Yeah, that works much better. Now that we got the hose clamp back on there, I can put the fuel filter back. And I think I need to. I just noticed that this was just a really easy movable clamp on this harness here, so I'm able to got myself some more room in here. I actually have to move down this clamp a little bit further. All right. There, now the fuel filter is fully seated into the hose there. And now, just grab it. Oh, and it did slip off there. but it's honestly super easy to use. Okay, now we'll put the hose up on the top here. Oh. All right, that should be plenty far enough. And now we'll be able to use our pliers again. And we went too far. Let's back up a little bit. And there you have it. That fuel filter's in there, and this pliers actually made this job super easy. I always kind of dread working with hose clamps, especially in super tight areas like this. The pliers just always seem to slip off, or you got to be holding onto the pliers tight and moving it, and then I don't know. It just makes it a lot easier that this has this ratchet on there, and then it holds it so nicely within the jaws there. So yeah, if you do a lot of maintenance like this, then I think this tool is definitely worth having in the toolbox, especially for the price. It's not a huge investment. So I do think it's a nice practical tool to have, and I definitely thank you for watching. If you want a little bit more maintenance content, you can hit this playlist right here. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.